Hi, welcome back for episode 3 in this leadership series. Thank you very much for the feedback I've received so far. I really love that conversation, so keep it coming. Obviously, if you can subscribe or like or share this video, I'd really appreciate that. We really want it to reach the people that it can most benefit. So some of the feedback I received from people who should remain nameless, perhaps. No, they shouldn't. It was my wife. She said it was all very, very serious. Now, it's hard not to be serious when you're dealing with things like moral purpose and integrity as key components of leadership. But something she brought up, I actually agree with. I needed to smile a bit more. And that's a really nice segue into today's episode, which is on humour. Now, there are some Parkinson's links to her comments about smiling a bit more, so I'll go through those very quickly first and then get on to today's episode topic. So the first thing about smiling a bit more, for people with Parkinson's, you may have heard of the Parkinson's mask. Now, the Parkinson's mask is really related to rigidity and bradykinesia, which is slowness of movement. So they're two symptoms of Parkinson's that are really significant for me, probably more so than tremor, which is obviously the most common symptom that people associate with Parkinson's disease. So that slowness of movement and rigidity obviously affects my muscles in my face. And at times I think I'm smiling and I think I'm showing emotion, but perhaps, and obviously, that's not always the case. So if I do appear deadpan, it may be just because of that. So that's a nice excuse for you. The other significant non-motor symptom of Parkinson's, so it's the most common non-motor symptom, is anxiety and depression. Now, that's something I never really had to deal with in my life, but particularly post-deep brain stimulation, it's something that's a real part of my life now. I have to really monitor my anxiety levels, and I get a whole range of different movements because of anxiety levels, which builds anxiety further, and that can lead to depression. But I'm here and talking about humour, so let's get into that. So humour with leadership, obviously it's not something that people would think of as a key component to successful leadership straight away. However, I'll put it right up there, right behind moral purpose and integrity. The reason I've done that is because humour used well, now that's important, can be a really good indicator of the culture. So that being aware of the humour of other people and also injecting your own humour into the workplace can make people feel at ease and feel like they are respected. That is very important. So we all know that humour done poorly can absolutely destroy quality leadership. It can annihilate it because you'll lose the respect of your staff if you're injecting inappropriate humour. So 2 other important elements to humour in your leadership. One is, if you're injecting the humour, you need to be nice. It's never acceptable to bring someone down with the humour that you're injecting in the workplace. Another part, and this part really needs a strong self-identity, so it's something that you'll need to work on, is being strong in your own sense of self, because it's important that you as a leader are not easily offended. But you need to remember that the behavior you walk past is the behavior you accept. So if someone is using humor in the workplace and is directed towards you or an action, so simple example might be that I've spilt my coffee because of my Shaky, and somebody uses humor to make me feel at ease. I could get really offended by that, but it's important to know what the intent was. Again, that's high emotional intelligence that you need, which all leaders need. Emotional intelligence can be worked on. So if it's not a strong point of yours, don't panic, but go do the research, get tested and work on your emotional intelligence for sure. But if the humour is directed at a more general target. It might be humour towards a physical characteristic that someone doesn't have control over, as we know. Anything like that is obviously taken offence by so many people. So you can't let that go. As a leader, obviously you resort first back to your moral purpose, why you're here, then to your integrity. So if that humour has violated your sense of integrity, you need to stand up. It's not okay to laugh off a joke that goes against your integrity, because you'll just unwind all the hard work that you've done, and it will take forever to rebuild. So, where to from here? Go into the workplace, have some fun, but be really aware of how people are using humour and if they're using humour. If you walk into the staff room that is a happy staff room and people are joking, do they stop because you've entered the room? Or do they incorporate you into that bit of banter or a bit of laughter? So have a look, use it to evaluate some of your culture, and this has probably gone against some people's view of leadership, so feel free to give me that feedback as well. I'd love to have a bigger conversation around humour. Thanks for your patience. If you've liked this, like and subscribe. If you haven't liked it, share it with someone who might. And hopefully see you in the future. Thank you.